Welcome to It's On Halifax with your hosts, Mark Adam and Pat King. It's On Halifax is brought to you by A2 Canada and Oasis on Spring Garden Road.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of It's On Halifax. I am one of your hosts, Mark Adam. On Twitter, you can find me, MarkAdamHFX.
And I'm your other host, Patrick King. You can find me at PatKingHFX on Twitter.
It's the first time you've introduced yourself as Patrick.
That's true. That's strange. I don't know why I did that.
It's almost always Pat King.
Yeah, it generally has more of a ring to it, and for I guess media advertising purposes, I've been trying to stick to Pat, but sometimes I just like Patrick better.
I mean, every once in a while, people like their full name.
Yeah, I mean, it's
not always...
it's less sexually ambiguous.
Patrick
What's
is...
that? It's Pat. Remember that character? I think it was Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, Pat, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. I thought you were saying Patrick was...
No. I said it's less sexually ambiguous.
Yeah, that makes sense. Never mind. I'm paying attention now.
Hooray.
So we are live, streaming again on our Facebook page where you can watch and chat live, which is new. You can still watch it on the Ustream page itself if you choose. But we've made it very easy for you to find us on Facebook, facebook.com/It's On Halifax.
And for those of you who've been keeping up, we're back to our original time of 5 o'clock on Sundays.
Yes, for the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Emily and I, our controller Emily, and I are in a playwright cabaret at the Theatre Arts Guild. So our Sunday mornings are spent at the theatre doing rehearsals. So that's kind of pushed us back to 5 o'clock for the next few weeks. Performance is March 8th and 9th, which is a Friday, Saturday. Definitely come check it out if you can. And in the meantime, check us out here at 5 o'clock. Sundays.
So that sounds pretty eventful. Has there been anything else going on in your week that...
It was Valentine's Day.
It was Valentine's Day. I forgot.
Yeah, you forgot. Yeah, no, you can't put forget and Valentine's Day in the same sentence. There is a woman somewhere that will punch you in the scrotum.
No, I'm pretty cool.
I'm pretty cool.
No, I'm pretty sure that's not true for me.
No, fair enough. I can't say the same thing. So anyway, how was your week, sir?
Oh, more of the same.
What does that mean?
I spent a lot of time editing some film work. We went out and shot that promo for the UFC contest at the Oasis.
Yes, which, by the way, if you haven't heard, we'll tell you about in a bit. Continue.
I got my taxes done early. Most people are quite amazed that I've got it all finished. And I went out to buy some new gear with my newfound tax money. Got a new prime lens for the cameras. I got some audio gear, new shotgun mic. So it's really stocking up on ammo. It's great. Not literally.
No, yeah.
Although,
wait,
I don't have enough explosives.
No one
lying
should give
around
you
the
a
house.
gun.
Not a gun, just explosives, I guess.
Okay. Anyway, what does Emily have any stories for us? I know she doesn't have a mic, but nothing exciting.
Which is another thing we might be able to solve soon. Hopefully by next week we'll have a proper condenser mic and we won't have to rent them anymore.
Yeah, renting is a bitch.
True.
No stories from me.
No stories from Emily. Okay, moving on. Have you noticed anything in the news that you thought to yourself, what the fuck, why is that a thing yet this week?
This week? No, well, I mean, we don't like to venture into politics or religion too often, but the Pope stepping down really caught my attention.
Well, what's your take on that?
Well, I read some research that apparently there is a as of yet unnamed European country who, with an international group for, I suppose, the prosecution of the church. I'm not exactly sure what you would call it. Anyway, they've actually motioned to subpoena the Pope to defend himself against allegations that he was complicit to cover-ups of a lot of sexual abuse. So A lot of people are speculating that that's maybe why he stepped down, because they were threatening to take assets from him and essentially start appropriating wealth from the Vatican to pay for
restitution.
Yeah, that it's kind of huge, but it will come out in the coming weeks and months, I'm sure. And but it's something to look out for, because that's a major change in human history.
That's fair. That's fair. My what the fuck moment this week came when Oasis ran a Valentine's Day contest. It was very simple. What are your plans, if any, for Valentine's Day?
Oh, I'm sure
and
that got
whoever had the best plans based on votes, comments, and Facebook likes or whatever wins a $10 gift certificate.
So what was the winner?
Well, let me read them all. Actually, let's go. First one is something you might expect. Feast dinner theater with all the single ladies, half price special for women, beats sitting at home on Facebook, free glass of champagne too, and then what did she say? She also said after that she had said then going to the Oasis with the girls afterwards. The next person said taking my boyfriend to have his first ever sushi experience and then to see Identity Theft. Then spending his birthday on Saturday at Oasis. So that was clearly they're playing up the Oasis thing. The very next person, masturbate. And that's a girl.
Nice.
Yeah. She said masturbate. I thought that was kind of funny. To which the Oasis replied, hey, a plan is a plan, Deanna. So that's kind of funny.
Please tell me she won.
Yeah. And then this one gets a little graphic, actually. I hear you, Deanna. Is a comment from another girl named Jen. I hear you, Deanna. I'm planning to light a couple candles, put on some Frank Sinatra, open a bottle of wine, and spend the night with my favorite vibrator, Vince. After I rub a few out, I'll be at the Oasis for wangs.
For wangs?
She didn't write wings. She wrote wangs.
Right. Phrasing. Go.
Yeah, phrasing. Boom. So then staying in bed all day with my Valentine. That's pretty typical. But then the voting, clearly the girl who just literally just the one word answer with masturbate.
I would have voted for her.
She got the most votes, so she won.
Nice.
She won the contest. So that was kind of my, wow, note to self. If you ever want to learn way too much about somebody, ask them what their Valentine's plans are.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, and with Facebook, it's like everybody's coming out of the woodwork, so a lot of single people were answering as well, which I find funny.
Yeah, my plan for Valentine's Day is to forget that the thing exists. I'm going to jerk my own chain and then go eat meat off a bone.
Yeah, that's really kind of standard for me as far as days go.
That's fair. That's fair. It doesn't need to be Valentine's Day for Pat to take part.
Nothing special.
What's your vibrator's name?
What? Snap.
Snap. Phrasing. So anyway, that was kind of my what the hell is happening
and
moment this week.
Dan Haig joins us at Starlit Romantic on Twitter. He says the meteor going over Russia was another big thing in the news.
That crashed into Russia.
Yeah, it was super cool to watch.
Shattered like 100,000. There wasn't any audio in that video, was there?
I don't think so.
There was a video with audio, I think.
Yeah, what I was just saying, like, it's not really something we could play for our guests.
No, but
Most of like Russians talking.
Yeah, definitely YouTube it. Russia is.
You know what? I want to check it out, so I'm going to look it up. What's a keyword search that I would use?
Russia meteor. I'm sure probably pretty good there. I mean, I'm really glad that it happened in the country with the single most dash cams of any other place in the world. Yeah. People, apparently, Russian drivers are out of their minds. Hundreds injured. See, I did not know that.
Hundreds of people were injured. This is minor stuff, but there was a lot of kids.
Yeah, check that first one out.
There was almost, they were saying it was close to 1,000 people were hurt.
Oh, there was a sonic boom. Awesome.
Well, yeah, that's...
destroyed thousands of windows and injured almost 500 people from broken glass. Badass.
That doesn't look like...
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I think that's a commercial. Oh, maybe not.
Meteor shower.
Where's Bruce Willis when we need him?
A massive ball of fire and smoke tearing across a mid-morning sky. This was the sight seen by many.
Whoa! Dude.
They made their way to work, and took their children to school. There was no warning of the meteorite, which sent burning fragments raining down from the sky and briefly turned the day into night. Using their mobile phones, people filmed the trail of smoke left in its wake. And then...
Yeah, it shattered hundreds of thousands of windows, apparently.
A sonic boom which set off car alarms and smashed windows in apartments, factories and schools. 250 people are injured according to the Ministry of Internal Affairs. 3 are in a critical...
It was, I'm sorry, the equivalent of more than a dozen atomic bombs?
Yeah, like the same here, the bomb that hit Hiroshima. More than a dozen. That's what it had the force of that.
It couldn't have because
No, because
all
those
the shattered
buildings are still
windows.
standing.
There was 3,000 buildings affected. Yes, almost all of it was just smashed windows.
No, yeah, but it hit away from the city. But the force.
Oh, so it didn't like it looked like it hit like in the city the way the video.
No, I don't think it didn't hit in the city.
Well, it would have cracked to pieces when it hit the atmosphere of the Earth.
Yeah, but
Look it up. It says on a lot of the news sites, the astronomers have said that it had the force of more than a dozen tons.
more than a dozen atomic.
Yeah,
Bombs
but where the
It must have been pretty fucking far away from the city.
well, the nuclear weapons that were dropped over Japan they exploded much closer to the city. They dropped them and they exploded in the air. With this meteorite, it would have hit the atmosphere, and that's where a lot of the impact would have come from, and would have kind of exploded outward from there because it hits the air, and the air pressure causes it to. That's essentially what causes the explosion.
It's also why there was a big cloud of smoke behind it, the trail.
Precisely.
But that's crazy. That was crazy in the news. That's actually...
Yeah, it didn't level any buildings or anything. Yeah, because I did see one photo of it's like one building just had like a chunk torn out of it. It looked like somebody. It kind of looks like what you would expect from a meteorite hitting something.
That's crazy. Wow. Imagine, just like all of a sudden it's like, what's that going through the sky over Halifax? Because that's what we need is another explosion.
I bet you people fucking regret taking funding away from NASA now.
Yeah, wouldn't they have been able to track that shit?
They're just
And they would have
sitting
been
back
like, oh, the Russians are good for a big surprise.
Well, apparently a lot of Russian people have accused the U.S. of testing new weapons, which is complete speculation and probably complete bullshit. But you know how the Russians feel about the Americans. They're still kind of pissed over the Cold War thing, I think.
Fair enough. Okie dokie. So that was huge in the news this week.
Yeah, very cool.
Some smaller, more local things. There was a Master of the Arcade tournament at Halifax Vintage Arcade.
Sad I missed it.
I know. I want to know how it went. So maybe we'll get Danny to fill us in at some point, and we'll post it up on the Facebook page.
Yeah, we'll get him to stop by or something.
Yeah, it's that's
I'm
a
looking
lot of
forward
fun. Like
for the next one.
little things like that.
Speaking of which, I went to check out the pinball arcade for the first time. I spent 2.5 hours playing pinball on $12. And it was surprisingly packed. At one point, there was somebody standing at every machine.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was quite pleased.
A lot of ding, ding, ding.
Oh, man.
That
Telling
knock sound must have gotten annoying after a while.
A little bit, yeah. Well, not really annoying.
Free game. Bang.
I love...
Anybody who plays pinball knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly. It scares the shit out of me still.
I know. When you win a free game, you're like, bang, you think you broke the machine. There's that knock inside.
I don't know why that is.
I don't know why they did that either, but I think it's just to announce to the rest of the pinball junkies that, hey, guess what I just did.
Yeah, look at me. Woo.
I guess it's the same thing as like lights going off when you win on the casino.
Yeah, pretty
like
much.
One-armed bandits.
I love doing it too because when I left there, I never really feel more relaxed than after 2 hours of just sensory overload.
Yeah.
A lot of noises and lights, and you're concentrating, and I mean, it just drains you physically.
Something that the CIA use as torture you're doing to yourself for money.
Yeah, pretty
You're
much.
paying.
Well, I'm paying for it, but I find it really relaxing once you're done too, because you can just kind of, I don't know, where I'm kind of ADD, it just like satisfies all of those, attention deficit urges.
That's fair. I guess. But we should switch gears here for a second.
Come on.
Do some this day in history. What was it? The first one, Newsweek in 1933. Newsweek was first published on this day.
Nice.
Kind of got some momentum behind it now, eh?
Yeah. Which is funny because I think Newsweek was one of the magazines that recently went all digital. So they're probably not even around in the form that a lot of people.
Well, I think they still print.
I've seen a lot of things are going kind of by the wayside as far as print goes. They're
definitely diminishing the number that they print because everybody's going online to get the content now.
Yeah, I haven't been able to find a copy of Heavy Metal in months, which is a bummer because I collect them. I love like the pulp comic book style type stuff. It's hard to find. You have to subscribe directly to them if you want them, apparently.
Here's some useless news. Comedienne Joan Rivers made her first guest appearance on The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson on NBC.
1965.
In 1965.
One of many appearances on the Tonight Show. Joan Rivers was kind of a badass back in the day.
Yeah. Yep. There was this one. I thought when I read this the first time, I was confused. This here says Colin Ferguson was convicted of 6 counts of murder in the December 1993 Long Island Railroad shootings. Mm-hmm. So he was convicted this day, 1995, and he was later sentenced to a minimum of 200 years in prison.
Right.
Now, I watch a show called Eureka that stars Colin Ferguson.
Yeah.
Clearly, it's a different guy.
Yes.
But I was just like, Colin Ferguson was convicted of. I'm like, whoa, what? Wait. So I started reading it. I'm like, clearly it can't be the same guy because he'd be in prison for another 189 years or something stupid.
Speaking of dying in prison, 1992 in Milwaukee today.
Dahmer.
Jeffrey Dahmer was sentenced to life in prison. I believe I was actually watching videos about serial killers recently because every so often I don't know, I do that. I just find them really interesting. But he was sentenced to over 600 years in prison.
Dahmer?
Yeah.
Yes.
600 years.
Which is, if you divide that by 25, that's how many consecutive life sentences that is. Also, he was beaten to death in prison.
With a steel pipe in a yard just by some other career criminal who thought it, might get him some cred, I suppose.
Another really interesting thing to watch about like murders and stuff.
What's that, Emily?
Child murderers.
Child murderers, yeah.
They're really creepy.
Yeah, I was.
It's way more disturbing than when you read about like an adult.
I was reading recently about there were 2 convicted child killers, like killers who were children. I think they were 11 and 10 years old, and they took this 2 or 3-year-old, and drug him around. And recently, apparently on the internet, someone who claimed to be their original names were posting photos of themselves on the internet, and these people aren't even allowed to post their own photos and use their real names or anything anymore because they were so young when they were convicted of murder that they were given new lives and new identities, and it's illegal for them to even identify themselves as their original name. It's, so many people are out to get them.
Wow.
Yeah, ain't that fucked up. I don't know, I find that stuff fascinating. But also, another thing that I find fascinating, in 1996, world chess champion Garry Kasparov beat the IBM supercomputer Deep Blue in Philadelphia.
That was, 1996 on this day.
And if you haven't seen Kasparov versus
he
the
lost
Machine,
first.
He did, yeah.
And then he had a rematch and won.
Well, and with chess games, in chess tournaments, you always play multiple games in one match kind of thing. And they played the games over the course of days and not in immediate succession. So there was a big controversy there because Kasparov claimed that IBM technicians were modifying the computer's programming in between the days. So check out the documentary Kasparov versus the Machine. It's super interesting. I love artificial intelligence and that kind of thing. And Watson is the spiritual successor.
Yeah, exactly.
Who they've shrunk down now to about the size of a toaster, apparently, or maybe a little bigger.
As opposed to Deep Blue, which was the size of a room.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was huge. And Watson even was probably, you could fit Watson in its original form in this apartment, I would think. But now you could actually just fit it into a box, which is super cool.
Yeah. It's something that you can actually carry with you somewhere.
Exactly.
Which is terrifying.
Yeah, yeah.
Because Archer might be onto something. The
Archer,
rise of the machines.
Always. Be the first against the wall. I for one, welcome our new robot overlords. And it's funny. They recently... there was some science that dictated that computers were more accurate at diagnosing people than doctors were.
That's disturbing. A bit.
I believe it.
That's a bit disturbing.
Well, I mean, a supercomputer it's fallible, sure, but it can process that huge wealth of information, and it doesn't succumb to stress. It doesn't succumb to exhaustion. I think eventually, computerized diagnostics for medicine is, I think it'd be great.
But doesn't human emotion come into it at some point, and can it read human emotions?
No, but you can. I don't think it's able to read human emotions. But I mean, from a completely diagnostic standpoint, you could just tell the computer that this person is feeling whatever way. Like, a human operator would be able to input those things that it might not be able to understand, to an extent, anyway.
Huh. Yeah, I'm starting to get a little creeped out and get the whole Skynet vibe.
Science.
Yeah, so watch out for Pat, people. He apparently is on the robot's side.
Yep.
When they show up, he will not be your friend.
Nope.
Fair
Hopefully
enough.
they'll give me robot arms.
Well, what if zombies come first? Are you going to be like, I welcome the zombies?
No, that's different.
No.
No, we can win against the zombies.
We can. So the whole thing is based on futility.
Exactly.
Okay.
Zombies have some flaws that...
Yeah, zombies have weaknesses, and where we live in Canada, be no problem. Just outweight them through the winter. Psh, be fine.
All right, then. I don't know that we have all the facts on zombies, so to speak, but...
We'll have a contest one day.
Well, it depends if they're the fast zombies or the slow ones or the viral ones or the...
Well, exactly. What causes their zombieism?
Yeah, is it like a rage virus? There's a lot of variables.
There are many.
All I'm
Too
saying
many.
is that the robot revolution won't be as forgiving.
That's because they don't have emotions.
Yeah, well,
as
it
previously
reminds me
discussed.
of...
They won't think twice about ramming things into you.
Do you remember seeing the Animatrix? That little, 6-part compendium that they released during the Matrix trilogy?
I meant to watch it and I never got around
you
to
should.
it.
In high school, I used to smoke pot and watch it all the time. That
had a couple of different...
Yeah, it was 6 little vignettes.
But they were all different animation styles, weren't they?
There's all different animation studios that did them. The company that worked on Aeon Flux did one, and there's a bunch of them. But one of them was the Robot Revolution Part 1 and 2, and it's so good. You could probably find that on YouTube, actually. I suggest we track it down later and watch it.
Yeah, we'll try and find it on the break.
Because it used to blow my 16-year-old pot-addled mind.
See, and I never had a pot-addled mind, so I'm just more practical thinking than I am whoa, what if?
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is it's really philosophical. It goes to some very interesting places.
When I was a kid, it was never about the philosophy. It was about how can I get sex?
Yeah, well, no, I was a nerd. I played Dungeons and Dragons. That was never a problem for me.
What, getting sex was never a problem?
No, worrying about it.
Oh, that was never an issue.
No, that's well, it was never a problem either because I wasn't really
because you can't miss what you've never had.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fair.
I hit my stride in my early 20s.
See, and I played a lot of sports, and as geeky as I was, I played enough sports and I had enough cred that way that I wasn't looked at by the outside world as a geek. So I was like what people call now, they call me a day walker.
Yeah,
when it comes to geekosity.
Day walker.
Well, because
I can get on that,
and I can understand where the sentiment comes from, right?
Yeah.
So
half breed.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Blade was on TV the other day, and I thought, hey, that's cool.
It's good times, man. I miss Wesley Snipes.
Yeah. He used to do some really cool stuff. Speaking of which, I saw what I watched the other day. Demolition Man.
Oh, fucking A.
Him and Stallone. Wesley Snipes playing a bleach blonde black guy.
Psychopath.
Yeah, who's a sociopath. Yeah, it was good times. Also, Dennis Leary was in that.
That's a fuck. I gotta watch that movie.
Sandra
again.
Bullock.
It's a great movie.
Was it Lou Diamond Phillips?
Oh
No,
man,
it wasn't.
I haven't heard
It
that name
wasn't-
in forever.
It wasn't Lou Diamond Phillips. No, it wasn't. Sorry. Demolition Man.
Emily's
What are
gotta
you
look
looking it up there now?
We know that shit inside and out.
Yeah, I know. Like, yeah, it was Lou Diamond Phillips. No, sorry. Sandra Bullock, Stallone, Snipes, Dennis Leary.
Benjamin Bratt.
Yeah, Benjamin Bratt. There you go. That was.
Hawthorne.
Yeah, it's
It's good times.
a good movie, man.
Yeah, I gotta get out to the theater again. I haven't been out to see a movie in forever.
That when I was a kid, that twisted my brain when they because that scene in Demolition Man where Sandra Bullock just comes up to want to have sex with me,
You're like,
and
what
Stallone's like, yes, yes, I do,
as any red-blooded human being would.
because she's Sandra Bullock and Jesus. So anyway, they put the hollow helmet thing, and she sits on one side of the room, and he's sitting on the other, and he's like, I kind of like. Whoa! What is happening? Like every time he closes his eyes, these flashes of like basically her naked and doing things to him would go through his head. Because apparently physical contact was outlawed because
Yeah,
it
yeah.
spreads disease.
That's one way to stop STDs.
They have children.
That was a question he asked actually. How do you have children? And she's like, well, you and your mate go to a doctor and you basically jizz in a cup. They filter that shit. And then they put it in you artificial insemination style.
And they make sure that
There's
no
no
diseases
genetic.
or
There's no genetic. Yeah,
Oh.
but she can't pick up a disease from your sperm that way, and the child will be healthy, guaranteed. So they've eliminated.
Was disease a major problem?
I can't remember what year it is supposed to
Yeah,
be. It's
I'm
like
not sure.
the year 2017 or something. Something super.
From now.
Yeah,
No,
well, this
yeah.
movie was made in 1996, so that was like a big jump at the time.
I love watching movies that do that. In the year 2009, you're like, wait a second, that
The Jetsons was set in the year 2000.
yeah.
Yeah,
Great. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's, like, completely.
well, a lot of well, and it's funny because
Where's
like
my damn flying car already? Come
yeah,
on.
I know, right? Where are our hover cars?
You get on that.
Flying cars.
2015. You got 2 years to figure out fucking hover cars, people. Come on,
We're close. I'm sure we're close.
we've got to be
Yeah.
something about the magnetic field and the Earth. And
Well,
anyway,
then again,
moving
they
on.
already killed the electric car. Who knows? Could be some government conspiracy to put down the flying car, keep GM in business.
What do you mean they killed the electric car?
Oh yeah, there's another really good documentary by the guys who did excuse me, Enron, the smartest guys in the room, is called "Who Killed the Electric Car," and it was essentially this huge campaign by major auto manufacturers to kill the electric car.
But
We have them now, but they were available, or
They were yeah.
but there's still
much earlier.
but there's still having an electric car is still more expensive than having a gas car in the long run because energy, like electricity, costs more than gas right now.
Yeah, don't I know it?
Better for the environment.
I just got
It's better for the environment, but it's not cheaper. So it's
Well, and then it's again that's only because the oil and gas and like fossil fuel companies haven't moved towards more costly.
are they waiting for us to be out of fossil fuels on the planet
Pretty much, yeah,
altogether?
yeah. Well, I mean they have
'Cause
to
we're-
post
we're
record.
getting there.
They have to post record profits every year, regardless of what they do, and it's going to cost them out of their. It's going to come straight out of their pocket if they're trying to design more viable, environmentally friendly options, which would be cheaper for the consumer in the long run, but.
You're bending my brain.
I
And
know,
we're getting political.
I hate it.
I think we should let's take a break.
Hooray.
Hooray! Let's take a break, and we'll come back with stuff that isn't super politically charged.
Yeah, I'm gonna go eat some more ice cream with a fork and come back all sugar
Why
rushed
with
and
a
see what we
fork?
can do.
Anyway, whatever. Yeah, we're going on a break, people.
You want want your special day to be just right, right? Well, so did I. I called A2 Canada, and all the little details took care of themselves. An audio-video setup, photographer, and even a videographer, all working as a team to capture the memories I cared about. Oh, and I saved a bundle by getting them all in the same place. You should try it.
A2 Canada. Professionalism you can count on.
Oasis, epic sports pub, where you don't have to spend a lot to get a lot.
I hate all those fucking roses are red poems. I came up with my own. What was it? Roses are red. Yeah, I can't remember the rap. Roses are red, violets are fucking violet. God damn it, I'm not excited for something smelling like cheese.
Order pizza? You guys should order pizza now so it arrives after the membership.
Oh, I better arrive during the show.
Then it'll be fun. It's like, okay, show's over, folks. Pizza's here.
Peace!
I was brilliant when I bought that. Shut up.
I won't say anything to Amy.
Oh, you know.
You're the one who told me.
Oh my god.
On Facebook.
Hey, Belly. Oh,
Oh,
now
yeah.
you got exposed. Belly was hanging out. No. My balls aren't hanging out. No kicking.
Pink Billy, Pink Billy.
Blue balls.
Ah!
That's not how blue balls is supposed to work.
No. Owie. Spank nuts.
What? Wait, what? No.
That's not a thing.
Oh, it is. We used to play it all the time. Wasn't really a game, actually.
Yeah.
We would just walk up and flick each other in the balls.
I'm really happy that my genitalia is inside my body.
I will punch you in the ovary.
Well, that hurts, but I don't think it hurts as much as being kicked in the balls.
No. No, I'm gonna go ahead and say that that's perfect.
Yeah. At least the most painful thing for women is a choice. You don't have to give birth to children.
Your parents must not be Catholic. It is a responsibility. No, thank you.
Please tell me these are clean.
Yes. See this brown sheet that hasn't even been pulled out yet?
That's why they're on the bed.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a soccer game at 8. So I'm getting picked up at just after 7.
Okay.
So we have to be finished by then and out. So if you're gonna order pizza, you should do it now.
Who are you gonna order pizza? I don't have cash on me.
I don't have any cash either.
That's fine. Call it in.
Alright, I grab my phone.
Wait, what was the consensus there?
Hey, everybody who's listening, what do you want on your pizza? pizza for delivery, please?
Poutine.
And a poutine. 1132 Wellington, please. And a small. There's no apartment. 448.
You get the same look on your face as cats do. It's kind of
Yes.
adorable.
It is. 2860 cash, debit or credit? Debit. 45 minutes? Cool. Okay, cool.
Weirdly
We're up.
exciting.
Okay, bye. Okay, let's get back to this then. Hi, kitty. Leave the cat alone. You guys played with the cat toy the whole time, and he sat over here going, "What the fuck is wrong with those people?"
Okay, we're back in 15 seconds.
Are we?
Yeah. I'm calling it. 10, 9,
And you're gonna play that video first?
7, 6. Do you want me to play first?
Yeah. Well,
3, 2, 1. Ah, fuck.
yeah, we're back. So here's a video that Aunt Emily will play.
A poem. Roses are red, violets are blue. Be my Valentine, I'm waiting for you. Blood is red, bruises are blue. Don't say no.
She's super creepy. It's just super, super creepy. Blood is red, bruises are blue. The whole thing with the overly attached girlfriend is the gigantic eye she
Yeah, and
always
then her
has.
freaky smile.
Like, don't say no. So good.
I'm a big fan of hers, though.
Oh yeah,
I think I was reading about it recently, and she just put out this like parody fan video for Justin Bieber, and then someone started a meme about her, and she's kind of embraced it, and I love that.
Me too. Me too. I also saw the drummer for the Black Keys,
Patrick Kearney.
Patrick Kearney, recently changed his Twitter account to Bieber 2.0.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And he's just trolling the living shit out of all of these Justin Bieber fans, and I love it. Patrick Kearney is one of the most
What do you say?
outspoken.
This Bieber has 5 Grammys too, or something. Something like that.
What a dick. I love it. Not only is he one of my favorite musicians.
You love flame wars on the internet. That's your favorite thing.
Dude, it's so much fun. Everyone gets so butthurt.
It's terrible.
I also love the word butthurt.
You would love the word butthurt.
I do.
So what's coming up this week?
Wait, were you asking me?
Yeah. What have you got on the go this week, sir?
Mostly more film work. I got a meeting with the CNIB on Tuesday. See if we can't pick up some advertising money.
Well, that'd be fun.
It's actually a huge opportunity in the film work type thing. We actually, well, I personally went out last week as well and caught up with one of my film school teachers, and we went to a show at the Carlton. Stephen Fearing, who was part of the band Blackie and the Rodeo Kings.
Love Blackie and the Rodeo Kings.
Yeah, I had no idea who they were until this week when I went to do his show. We shot it all in black and white, and I'm really excited for when that comes out. And he was gracious enough to give me a copy of his new solo album, Between Hurricanes, and it's outstanding. So I'll probably spend the week listening to that while I work.
Yeah. So you'd never heard of Blackie and the Rodeo Kings prior to that, then?
Nope. Prior to, like, 2 days ago.
Because they have a song that I used to listen to on repeat over and over and over again, and it was... I can never remember the name of the song.
Yeah, apparently they're kind of like a Canadian supergroup. They're kind of huge.
Yeah, they had... what the hell was the name of the song? Man, that's going to drive me nuts. So I have to look up the Blackie and the Rodeo King discography.
Yeah, they're definitely worth checking out if you like folky rock, blues music.
Yeah, they're... Or maybe the album was Bark.
Come on now.
What the hell was it?
Achama.
Shut up, you. I would kick you in the nuts.
Yeah, Stephen Fearing is a very talented
It's like
man.
something about crying.
Or you would like that, wouldn't you?
If I catch you crying, that's what it's called. If I catch you crying about that girl again. If I catch you crying. It's a good song, dude. Check it out.
You should cover it.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
I've
been recently. I sometimes have them. Yeah, they strike me from time to time. Good ideas. I've been recently on a huge Rolling Stones kick too. I think I'm gonna go through my Rolling Stones phase for the next 6 months or so, just listening to nothing but the Stones.
What about Keith Richards and B.B. King?
Oh yeah, fuck yeah. And just anything and everything the Stones for a while, I think. Because it's that time. I mean, I went through my Beatles phase when I was a kid. You know, it's like just moving out and, you know, learning about art and whatever. And it's like, yeah, the Beatles, obviously, you just digest their entire discography. But now that I'm a little older and a bit more mature and a little more grounded, the Rolling Stones, like, fuck yeah, just pure rock and roll.
Yeah. Well, them and, to a lesser extent, Aerosmith. They're the bands that are like, they're old school. They just do what they do, and nobody expects anything other than what they do.
Yeah, but I mean, I was listening to a lot of the Stones B-sides, and every so often, you've got your Brown Sugars, you got your Beast of Burden, whatever, but then every so often they'll just catch you off guard with this like blues standard that you've never heard of before. That's just awesome. So they've got a really full catalog. They're not one of those bands that just, sure, they've got their hits that a lot of people know them by, whatever, but it's the rest of their catalog that most people don't give them credit for that really counts.
Well, that's the same with a lot of bands, like Radiohead, for instance. People who are into Radiohead, their B-sides are some of the strangest things you'll ever hear, but for people who are really into Radiohead, that's exactly what they want.
Yeah, and I mean, I read funny articles about what they do to their albums and the weird little Easter eggs and stuff that they hide in them. Like,
is that Radiohead?
Yeah, I think two of their albums were meant to be like, you play the first song off the first album, and then you play the first song off the second album, and then you kind of alternate between them, and it creates this whole like concept album. I think it was OK Computer and In Rainbows. I'm not sure.
In Rainbows.
Or
that was pretty
the new
recent.
one. Yeah, the new one.
Was In Rainbows?
Yeah. I don't know. They just do some weird shit.
And OK Computer, or was it Pablo Honey?
Pablo Honey was their first.
Pablo Honey was awesome.
Yeah, that was when they were a little more grungy.
Yeah. They got some really good tunes too. Anyway, we're sliding into
obscurity.
Yeah, some weird corners of music.
Fuck yeah, new music though. I haven't been listening to enough of it lately.
I gotta get myself out there.
The Grammys were this past week as well, but I never really caught any of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, award shows just not really my thing anymore, considering I don't have cable.
I can't be bothered to watch award shows.
Yeah, I know, and I mean, if you watch an award show, generally I want to find new music, somewhat more obscure music. I mean, the stuff that they play at the Grammys, that's the easy stuff. That's the stuff I've already got on my computer.
And it's also stuff that you can't avoid hearing. You go to a mall, it's playing. You go to a bar, it's playing. You turn on your radio, it's playing. Right? That's kind of all the basics of music is what award shows are.
Yep.
I really got to get back into more new music. I listen to a lot of new local stuff more so than world stuff, which is weird.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that though.
Oh, I know, but you can't really. There's no one to share that with. There's a very small community. Like, say, hey, have you checked out My Living Will's album? People are like, no. It's like, I saw their show once. I didn't pick up their CD, but you know what I mean? Like, people know who these bands are, but have never, they don't own the albums. So, but it's, speaking of My Living Will, I'm putting on a show.
Oh, yeah.
Since we're on the music topic, why don't we bring that up right now? The show is going to be March 15th. It's at Oasis. Tickets are on sale right now. And you can save money by buying them online.
How much money can you save?
$2 for general admission and $1 for students. Because the regular admission is $10 for general, $6 if you have a valid student ID. So you buy them online. It's $8 for general admission, $5 for students. Like I said, March 15th is a Friday night. My Living Will and Devil's Elbow, who are two amazing local rock bands. They're bands that are big enough to have made it, but haven't made it yet. You know what I mean?
Haven't ventured out of the maritime provinces to the big cities.
Yeah, they just haven't found that break that's right for them kind of deal. And it's also Division of Self, which is an up-and-coming band that a lot of people haven't heard of yet, but will probably start hearing a lot more of soon, in the veins of like My Living Will, Devil's Elbow, Armada Drive, those bands.
Right.
So I'm pretty excited about the show. I'm very pumped that it's happening and that I get to help produce this thing. So if you want to find out where I am, March 15th, during the Ides of March, find me at Oasis with these bands. The show title is actually called Beware the Ides, featuring My Living Will and Devil's Elbow.
Should be a rockin' good time.
It really is, and you can. It's really neat how you can buy tickets online through the service Eventbrite. They've made it available, so you can actually go and pick how many general admission.
Right? Hey.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
Cool. So you can buy your tickets on there, save a couple of bucks by buying them in advance.
Beats the hell out of Ticketmaster.
Well, yeah, and there's no fees. Well, there are fees and stuff, but I've figured out a way to save the general public from those. You can't do that with Ticketmaster. They charge the fee for everybody.
Look at this good guy Adam passing the savings on to you.
Yeah, exactly. Not only that, but the Oasis has the best cheap drinks, in the city. They win the best cheap drinks award in the coast, as voted by readers, every year.
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
Some of the most amazing food specials, and just the menu itself is already super cheap, and it's going to be a good show at a good venue. Yeah,
the food specials this past week, I really meant to hop in there and get some.
The $5 lunch specials at Oasis are back. I don't eat other places now.
Yeah. What did I see? The bison burger, and I saw some.
Oh no, that's not the $5 special. That was
I saw some stuff with chili, but all that stuff was only $5.99.
Yeah, but that's $5.99 plus tax. That was like specialty stuff that we got in. That's like limited time. These $5 specials are like every Monday between 11 and 2 or like every Monday to Friday, 11 to 2 is lunch. Every Monday is the chicken club wrap. Every Tuesday is the quesadilla, your choice, chicken, beef, or veggie. Oh. Comes with fries as well. Wednesday is the Alfredo, chicken Alfredo.
Delicious. With
garlic bread. Where are you going to get that for $5?
I have no idea.
That's what I'm saying. It's my favorite thing ever. I love it.
If you get the pinball machine fixed, I'll just move in.
Yeah, we're actually replacing the pinball machine.
Oh, with what?
I'm not positive.
Oh. It's okay. I live
Pat's
down
heart just broke.
I live down the road from a pinball arcade now anyway.
Yeah, exactly. You're
get something interesting.
You'll be satiated.
Yeah, get something that involves more punching. That punching machine that's there, it's awful.
Why is that?
It's a fucking hazard.
Well, yeah, it's
the speed bag isn't even connected to it right. It just kind of hangs off, and it's
it gets fixed, but then people hit it a lot. It's one of those video games that requires a lot of maintenance because it's constantly being struck.
I'm sure it probably doesn't make too much of that money back either, unless you go in there and start a dick measuring contest. Hey, my buddy.
Have you been to the Oasis during a UFC event?
I do it all the time.
It's pretty much a dick measuring evening.
I love it. It kills me. Like my brother and I went in there. He was in town for a little while, and we went in, and I told him, and my brother's not a small man. He's a sailor. He's
is he a sailor or is he a sailor?
No, he's a sailor.
Okay.
I'm like not the Navy sailor. He's a tugboat sailor. and he's
That's
a
what she said.
couple of inches smaller than me, but like twice as wide. And I was just like, let's do this. Let's see if your little brother can beat your ass in a punching contest or whatever. And there was a group of these other guys playing pool not too far from us, and I swear to God we were at it for like 45 minutes, just like 6 guys. Oh God, that came out wrong.
Oh, and whose dick measured better? Anyway, I'm just saying, sometimes you show up there and there's just like, it's especially bad when there's like really attractive women around.
Oh yeah,
because all the guys are like, look what I can do, and then they just go to town smashing this thing because we really haven't evolved.
No,
from apes.
I used to love fucking with guys because I'm not a really big dude, but I know how to throw a punch pretty solid. And just watching these guys go up in front of their girlfriends and do it, and I wait for them to sit back down. I kind of just like slink up to it while nobody's looking and do a couple of things, and I'll beat them by like 20 or 30 points and just kind of walk off.
Yeah, it's like that's the equivalent of like battle rap. Drop the mic.
yeah, we cool. But never trying to start anything. It's just just for jokes.
For giggles.
Just for giggles. I was I'm looking at the chat here. Looks like my buddy Ben is on as well. He's talking about playing a show with My Living Will. And they do rock the house. They
definitely do. What band is Benny in?
Yeah, no, he just plays a lot of solo stuff. Great songwriter in his own right. Also, he said, "Oh yeah, we haven't really been keeping track of the chat apparently," because he also mentioned that Wesley Snipes is rumored for The Expendables 3. Please make that happen. I think that'd be sweet.
Well, yeah, he's like one of the few guys missing from the Expendables universe.
Pretty much.
By the way, the Expendables, if you're ever going to it thinking, I hope the plot's good, stop talking then. Stop thinking, just turn around, go home. Save your money.
Yeah.
If, however, you're like me and you saw that all those guys were in the movie and you went to see them all do their trademark...
Yeah, say the line, motherfucker.
Yeah, say the line. And it's really funny because they went a different direction with it. And especially Expendables 2 with Arnold Schwarzenegger. He had the, I'll be back. You've been back enough.
I know, and that's a big problem that I had with the first one. It took itself too seriously. And the fact that the second one was a little more self-aware, I loved it.
Well, when you have fucking Chuck Norris show up out of nowhere, drop a Chuck Norris joke, and then bail. Like, that was it. He showed up just long enough to drop a Chuck Norris joke, and then leave.
Which is great, too, because apparently he was trying to get them to drop the rating of the movie, and, like, he went all Christian White Knight on them and was like, there's too much swearing in this movie. If I'm going to be in it, there needs to be less swearing. And they were like, just do the fucking line and leave. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's pretty good. He just, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Just the whole thing. And it's only amazing because those were my heroes growing up. It had Arnold Schwarzenegger, Stallone, Mickey Rourke. It had Jet Li. And Dolph Lundgren. It had Randy Couture. It had Bruce Willis. I already said Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, he's worth mentioning twice.
Yeah, you're right. He's that big. But yeah, it was just awesome. But you could tell, like, you knew that Arnold Schwarzenegger was driving Bruce Willis crazy.
Oh, probably.
You knew. Because there was sometimes he would deliver the line and you're just like, that was the best take? Like,
yeah.
That's the one you put in the movie? So
there was none better than that.
And it was like the 8th time or 12th time or something.
You see
and they were just like
Bruce Willis's head starting to pop out.
The exchanges between him and Bruce Willis.
Well,
if I'm Bruce Willis, aggravating. Oh my god.
Mentioning Bruce Willis, A Good Day to Die Hard comes out this week.
Yes.
Been getting awful reviews, unfortunately.
I don't care. That's
I know.
another
I'm
movie
still gonna
where
go see it.
I don't think this movie's going to take itself seriously, so I'm willing to go
Well,
watch.
and I think it's going to take itself a little bit seriously, but I mean,
But only as seriously as it's a sequel to this, so we have to maintain some semblance of a storyline here.
Yeah, I mean, not. It wasn't the third Die Hard.
Die Hard with Vengeance?
The fourth Die Hard.
Die Hard, or Live Free and Die Hard.
Live Free and Die Hard. I actually really enjoyed Live Free and Die Hard.
They make great Christmas movies. I don't know why they're launching this one when they are.
I don't think it takes place during Christmas.
No, I know, that's what I mean.
Yeah, so I mean, they're just gonna launch it whenever.
But it's
I think only the first two.
the first two were Christmas movies.
Yeah, the first Die Hard is to this day one of my favorite Christmas movies.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Boy, Carl Winslow all up in that bitch.
Oh, and that was the other thing they did in The Expendables when he was like, "You've been back enough. You stay here. I'm going." And then Arnold Schwarzenegger turns around and goes, "Well, yippee-ki-yay."
Cheeseball.
I know, but they knew it was Cheeseball. That's why it was such an amazing movie. And Jean-Claude Van Damme. I almost forgot it was Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah. He's another guy who's probably still got a couple of decent action movies left in him.
Have you seen JVCD?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one where he was...
Yeah, where
like
he kind of plays himself.
Yeah.
And he directed.
Yes, I saw that too.
And he looked as old and frazzled as he felt.
It really humanized him. Like I think
really did.
It brought him. It's such a good movie. I remember seeing it and really being struck by it.
It was called the Jean-Claude Van Damme Project originally.
Yeah.
But then it got renamed and launched as JVCD. So,
JCVD, Jean-Claude.
JCVD.
Yeah.
You need to look it up. Definitely do that.
Yeah, I remember one scene where these guys are robbing a bank and everyone just looks at him like he's like, "Motherfucker, I got kids. I'm not. No." and one of the bank robbers is getting him to do that little trick that he used to do, knocking the cigarette out of somebody's mouth, and
with the roundhouse kick.
Yeah, but the bank robber puts the cigarette in his own mouth, and he's like, "Come on, do it." And you can tell, like, the thought crosses his mind, like, I could just kick this guy's fucking head off like a soccer ball.
Yeah, I know. I was just like,
but he just kind of shrugs and does it.
But there was that weird moment in the movie where he's sitting in the chair and he's talking in French.
Yeah, he breaks the fourth wall.
Yeah, and he just talks to the camera, and it's like raising up through the roof and stuff, and you're like, what is happening?
Well, it was just him talking directly to his audience. He was,
and it was
trying
like
to
all of a
express
sudden
himself to all of his fans.
He broke open all of his emotions and just like had a therapy session with us as
viewers. Yeah,
yeah, it was
Shit was deep.
It got strangely personal.
Yeah, well, and I think that's great.
Which was neat.
He spent so many years in the public eye and doing his movies and whatever that he had kind of lost touch with his fan base, and I think, getting old as an action star, you kind of have some pressure to continue being, this unstoppable icon.
And there wasn't any, like, it wasn't a typical Van Damme movie at all.
No, not even close.
He actually acted.
Oh yeah, and well.
Yeah, and well, and you bought it, and it was. And it's funny, at the beginning of the movie, he's on the phone with his agent, and he's old now, and he's getting pissed. He's like, "Yeah, remember that movie that you told me to pass on? Guess who picked it up? Oh, Sylvester Stallone. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Dick.
And he's just fucking getting mad at his agent because he's getting old and he's hard to get roles, right?
Yeah,
Him and Stallone and Schwarzenegger, they're all on their way out.
Well, and Stallone and Schwarzenegger recently have had a resurgence, but only because they've been kind of creating their own work.
Well, yeah, like
Stallone spearheaded the Expendables project.
Yes.
And,
the new one he's doing, Kiss.
Oh,
the hell's it called?
What, the Stallone movie?
Yeah.
Bullet to the Head.
Bullet to the Head.
Yeah, it's a.
And then there's The Last Stand from Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. And again, that was a project that he kind of self-started and funded it with out of his own pocket.
Yeah, and found other people to do all the producing roles because he doesn't really know how to do that.
And like they reference a lot of his earlier movies in it, apparently. Terminator and Conan and whatever. Bullet to the Head, it's a little less a Stallone project. It's a, from what I understand, a remake of a graphic novel. But he just plays an aging cop in it. So they kind of have to find all these roles for, playing the aged cop or the old sheriff or they're just old.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I have a lot of respect for those guys and those kinds of movies because, like I said, they don't really take themselves too seriously, and they're just entertaining.
Yeah.
And they've got to that point where they know what entertainment is.
And thank fuck for that.
I know. Anyway, we're drawing to a close here. Next week on the show, we have the NWA.
Wrestlers.
Wrestlers.
This should be interesting.
We're gonna have wrestlers in on the show. The National Wrestling Association.
Yes.
We're going to have those guys. They're going to be our guests. Maybe we'll get them to
put me through a table.
If they bring one,
that'd be sweet.
I'm not letting them put you through one of mine.
Oh,
that's for fucking sure.
All right, fine. Yours is pretty sturdy looking anyway. I don't think I'd like that.
Yeah. So anyway, definitely check us out on Twitter. It's on Halifax. Check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/itsonhalifax. You can actually watch and chat live now, right in our Facebook page through the Watch and Chat app. What else?
No, as far as that goes, I think we're okay. Take a look on the Oasis page.
Oh yeah.
Because Indie Forge Media is going to be putting up another short little teaser for a UFC contest starring yours truly.
Yes, Pat was the man on screen for this one.
Yeah, because I'm so photogenic.
Well, yeah, but anyway, no, it's I think it's going to look really nice, but it'll explain also just how it is that you can win a trip to see Georges St. Pierre fight Nick Diaz at UFC 158 in Montreal.
I've always been meaning to go to Montreal for years.
Yeah, so you get sent. It's airfare, accommodations, and tickets to the UFC for 2. So you get to win and bring somebody else. Like if you win,
if I win, well, yeah, obviously we're gonna have to cover the UFC live. How would that not be a thing?
I'm totally gonna rig this. No,
so I'm throwing this out there. I'm putting out a bounty on the cards. If you go to the Oasis and get a Bud Light and get a card, I'll pay you $1 for every card. Putting out a bounty.
You can collect as many as you want. Anyway, the video will come out, I think, tomorrow. So when the video launches, it'll be on the Oasis Facebook page, which is Oasis HFX. Or sorry, no, Facebook.com/OasisPub.
Yes.
The Oasis own website is OasisHFX.com. You can check out their stuff too. So that's exciting. So on behalf of Emily, Pat, and myself, thank you very much. We'll see you next time.
This episode of It's on Halifax was brought to you by A2 Canada and Oasis on Spring Garden Road.